Hello, welcome back. Sean here, Mountains Garage, on a Saturday afternoon edition of Weekend Update. Been a while since we talked about random stuff, and that's what this video is going to be. As promised, although there was no photographic evidence, I got my bench 90% clean. Maybe 85% clean. But anyway, then I needed to strip this American Motors Turbo 400 from a Jeep. Obviously the Bellhausen gives it away. It's a 1976 transmission. I'm always suspect when the outside of the case looks unnaturally clean. The pump itself, outside of it, some of it was still raw metal. The other half was, typical rust, just from being exposed to the elements. But when I looked in the pan with my pocket screwdriver, I dipped it in. It's a 1976, like I mentioned, short pan. Absolutely nothing exciting about this transmission other than it is an 8-bolt case. It is cast completely in. It's not a cup plug where the Speedo would go normally. That is solid, which is kind of cool. Unfortunately, like the valve body gaskets are stuck. Something happens chemically, I guess, when they get water on them and oil, and now they're one with the aluminum. So I was pretty bummed when I found the rust inside when I took it apart. I can save most of it. I'm going to swap out this unique 10 spline output for actually a 375 output, and Tailhausen, this Jeep is being converted to two-wheel drive. So to clear the front drive shaft, Jeep used this, we'll call it 45-degree modulator setup and unique modulator valve. Another dead giveaway. Again, the Bellhausen gives it away, but so that is why my bench is messy now. I had to strip it, and now I guess I gotta fix it. But that'll happen. Facebook Marketplace strikes again. Well, it's not Marketplace's fault that I'm on there looking for projects and stuff. I saw this truck a couple weeks ago, and for the money, I couldn't pass it up because it has 3 almost new fenders. The aprons are new. There's some missing pieces that I didn't have. It's a Model A, not an AA. I have an AA pickup, which the sheet metal is the same, but the frame's bigger. Kicking around here, I actually have a grill shell that's better than this one, a hood that's better than this one, a cowl that's better, however, it doesn't have the windshield. And this is pretty much the way they came. A coach builder or the guy down the street would build the rest of it out of wood, and who knows what this used to be. But now I dream of having a fendered Model A, be it a car or a pickup. When I started building my Model A Roadster pickup that sits over there covered in cardboard boxes and stuff that needs to desperately be finished, or at least worked on. I didn't know, and I've done this a lot in my life. I was excited. I wanted to build a hot rod. I did a lot of my research after the fact. Because when I was, answering questions, you want it channeled? Yeah, absolutely. I want it channeled. But my brain still wanted fenders, and when you channel the body over the frame, that really messes up what should be a simple bolt together car, and now everything's custom. So if I'm going to put fenders on my channeled pickup, it's going to be a little bit interesting. But I have again enough other sheet metal. I got a Model A 2-door body that's chopped out in the trailer. So when I saw this Model A for sale with, again, 3 new fenders almost, and 1 good used fender, new aprons, it rolls. It's funny how light it is. It had a motor and transmission in it that's sitting right there that I've sold, and the gentleman's supposed to pick it up tomorrow. I pulled the motor out of it yesterday. And it's, eventually we're going to go over, you know, this is a good example of how things used to get hot rodded. And the process is still the same, but this is all stock. Your front radius rods and your rear radius rods all joined at the transmission. And when you hot rod it, you split the rods and spread them out. And, you know, it's just interesting to start back where, you know, I can pretend it's, you know, way back when, and start hot rodding from scratch. I'm hoping the frame has a usable VIN. There's only one way to tell, to take the cowl off. Bought it from a nice old guy that was into Model Ts, not Model A's, he said. So the engine and transmission are all painted up. I'll show you for you in the video here. But I don't know the condition of it, and that's exactly how I listed it on Marketplace, which, if you know Marketplace at all, you know what happens next. I list unknown condition, what I consider a pretty reasonable price. The same question over and over again. Does it run? I don't know. Unknown condition, but finally the right guy, you know, contacted me, and he understands what he's looking at, and hopefully tomorrow that part will be gone, because I'm not really excited about 40 horsepower and a non-synchronized transmission with tiny gears in it. So I can only imagine when they started, when these came out in 1932, when they came out with a flathead, I believe that's correct. Model A's only had 4 cylinders. But, you know, when you went from 40 horsepower to 100, that must have felt like a lot. But imagine when they started putting small block Chevys in them. Cool. Now, I've never pulled an engine out of a Model A before. It's not difficult, but you kind of got to pay attention to what's happening, because, for instance, I had it jacked up, but I'm disconnecting the front radius rods where they join the bell housing, and disconnecting the rear end from the back of the transmission because it has a closed tube. And like I wanted to take the shifter off. How do you do that? Well, thanks to the ham, if you ever go on the hokey ass message board, you take the 6 bolts out and take the whole cover off. Put the tranny in neutral, just pick the cover off, and put the cover back on when you get it out of the vehicle. Because to release just the shifter, it's inside. So before the internet, you would have had to know somebody that knew what they were doing, apparently, or read a book. But somebody loved this engine. It's all painted up. The head's a different color. Has a brand new dripless water pump. It looks like the carb might have been overhauled. So hopefully the guy that's getting it is going to be happy and does something with it. I guess if it ran and you could go banging around in it, it'd be kind of fun, I guess, but I don't know. Need a little more power than that. Believe it or not, this represents about 3 days work, mostly sorting out the small pieces in all the boxes. And this is still a work in progress, because as you get putting like things in like places, they tend to overflow a little bit. So, but for the most part, yeah, they're in groups, and it's definitely better than what I had going on before. I started out pretty reasonable, but a few years of just stashing parts on the shelves, you know what happens, especially all these loose pieces were just buried on the shelves. So progress, slow but sure. So now most of the core parts are separated on the blue shelves, but all throughout the shop, literally everywhere, and my brain knows where to go look for it. I have new parts. Most of the time knows where to go look for it. You know, you name it. You know, thousands and thousands of dollars worth of 400 parts. Man, they're everywhere, but until I can dedicate one area to just transmission, to just over 400s for the most part, which I want to add on and do that. You know, do like a 12 by 20 room. That'll probably get small in a hurry, but still it'd be progress. Yeah, someday. Looking forward to it. If you remember, about a month ago on a rainy day, I found some 9-inch Ford housings on eBay. eBay, like most online shopping experiences, are really good at showing you more stuff you might want. And I did buy, this time, a 48-inch housing and 2 refurbed, just the heavy-duty center section pieces, genuine Ford, that have been all sandblasted and there's no tubes on them. I got the wicked deal on those. I bought 411 ring and pinion with a spool, kind of a little kit. And elsewhere, I've been shopping all over the place because gear sets are going up and up. So if I can still find, like I bought 2 3.89 9-inch Ford gear sets for just over $100 a piece. Motive gear, good quality stuff, but just searching closeouts and returns or whatever. And I wouldn't want a set of gears that had been installed already, but if they're still new and the package is banged up, well, that's fine with me. So, and there's quite a section I could fill and have filled with 9-inch Ford parts, so that I try to keep all the stuff together, but it's not at the moment. So this is what goes on behind me, the hoarding of parts and then find a place to put it. Anyway, hope you're having a great Saturday, and we caught up a little bit, and we'll do more in a day or so. Take care.